Hi, Rachel Clarke here, otherwise known as R.A. Clarke for all my adult fiction readers. That is my pen name that I use for that, or Rachel Clarke I usually just use for my children's books. I am here videotaping this because I've got a package in the mail. An exciting Amazon package that will, I know, it contains a book that I've been waiting to receive. So it's got my proof copy, my very first author copy of Hatcher, my novella that is coming out on January 20th. I had the honor of having this book picked up and being published by Alien Buddha Press. So they liked it enough that they wanted to champion it and put it on their list, and that's just amazing. I'm just so excited to be working with them on this, and I can't wait to have a look at this book and see what it looks like and hold it in my hands. It's just honestly doing nothing that there's not much that beats that feeling. It's pretty neat to hold something that you've created and put your blood, sweat, and tears and so much time and energy and thinking and like the world building and the character deep dives, and you're going through all of the struggles with your characters when you're writing this, so it's they become your babies, all your stories. So I'm really excited for this book to hit the world and be able to be read by everybody out there. I'm gonna read a bit of an excerpt today, but I'm also just excited to get my eyes on it. And I wanted to include you in that. I'll just let you know, my website is rachelclarkewrites.com. I'm on all the other social media. You'll be able to find the links there, but R.A. Clarke writes on X and Rachel Clarke writes on Instagram. It'll be R.A. Clarke author on Facebook. Follow me. Subscribe to my newsletter. I have lots of plans for more books coming out in 2026 and 2027. And I have anthologies coming out through my press, Page Turn Press. So yeah, lots coming down the pipe. So definitely check me out. And also make sure you also do the same with Alien Buddha Press, because they're an amazing small press, pumping out so many epic looking books all the time. It's impressive. So yeah, make sure you follow them too. Show them some love. Okay, I'm going to open this up. Here we go. I'm just going to do a little snippy snip with my scissors. Yeah, satisfying rip. It's always so satisfying, that sound. Okay. Alright, so let's check this out. Look. Oh, that looks awesome. It's the back. Spine's a little off, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it's not bad. And that happens. There's always a variance when it comes to the books. That looks crisp and clean and nice. I am loving that. So I actually designed this cover, and I had created kind of a few different images for Hatcher. And this was one of them. And so then when I showed it to Alien Buddha Press and they liked it, then I just, okay, well, let me tweak this up and make this even better. And so I worked on it and cleaned it up and just, punched it up and tried to make it as best as I could. So yeah, and this was the final version, and I'm quite happy with it. I think it looks sharp. Yes. Would you pick that up on a shelf? Hey, would catch your eye? Oh yeah, this is a very dramatic, kind of emotionally charged, tension-filled kind of science fiction / portal fantasy adventure. So that's what this is, and it's all about a woman who, she's been having some hard times. She lost her husband into a portal. They call them hatches in this world. Hatch 212 is an uncharted portal that her husband was exploring. So they're hatchers, they're elite soldiers trained to police, guard, explore through all these different hatches that exist in their world and just in the sky. And kind of inexplicably, there's some history surrounding that, but that's where some of the fantasy elements come in. Yeah, and so he disappeared, never came back, stuck. Deals with lots of themes of grief, obsession, family love. It's got unreliable narration. How do people deal with loss? How do we deal with our emotions? Can it break us? Can it lift us up? Can it make us stronger? Will it bring us closer to loved ones or tear us apart? There's a lot of different facets that are kind of at play in here. It's meant to make you think, honestly, and to, like, consider and ponder, gosh, what would I do in that situation? So yeah, it's an exploration into an uncharted alien world, and it's an interesting ride, one that hopefully will stick in your heads for a long time. So I will like go through this with a fine-tooth comb later and make sure everything is looking perfect from all the pages, but it's looking great so far. And so now I'm going to read you a quick excerpt. Well, I shouldn't say quick. I'll read you the first chapter. It's not too long. And yeah, we'll do that real quick. Give you a slice of this book. Chapter 1. Regimental Commander Taryn, who headed all units on base, had just called Nev into her office for a rare private chat. Why? Nev had no idea. She flexed her hands while entering the room, as if such an action might stretch the uneasiness out of her. Directly across from the door sat a wall of floor-to-ceiling windows, which allowed a wash of light to cascade over her boss's tarnished metal desk. Halting and standing at attention, she took in Taryn's somber expression, a look she couldn't quite place. Concern, perhaps, or a constrained dread? Yet something else seemed to shimmer there, too, something oddly hopeful. Unless she was entirely wrong and it was vexation. Nev's heart palpitated as different potential causes raced through her mind. Had she messed up in the last hatch investigation somehow? Had Taryn finally learned of her penchant for dazing out on the huff? Or could there be new results in the stabilization project? No, it couldn't be that one. Too much time had passed. However, the possibility gave her heart an extra flip. Nev tempered it immediately. Remain calm. At ease, soldier. Sit down. Taryn straightened in her seat and waved a hand toward the 3 chairs sitting in front of the desk. Nev declined with a shake of her head, preferring to stand at ease, but removed her wine-colored beret cap and secured it beneath her arm. You wanted to speak with me, Commander? One corner of Taryn's mouth turned up. All business all the time. That's what I like about you, Steerin. You've come a long way since the, You're an impressive hatcher. One of my best. Her lithe fingers rapped against the desktop for a moment, nails hitting with tinny clicks. Then she offered a sincere smile. We go way back. All the way back, you and I. Setting rank aside for a minute, I want to say that I'm proud of the life that you've made for yourself, Nev. Leaning on the precious family you have left, finding a way forward. Family. Precious. Nev cringed inside. She doesn't know I haven't seen my children in 3 years. Or about my addiction. The huff was the only thing that got her through each day. A wonder drug. Taryn took the file folder into her hands, starting over after experiencing such a life-changing loss isn't easy. Not at all. But it's possible. You're proof of that. You've set a powerful example for the hatch cadets you teach. With great success, might I add. And for your kids. Your daughter, who's training to be a hatcher as we speak. You have turned out some exemplary workers, and, of course, you've completed some integral ops for this regiment yourself. Nev nodded, unsure how else to react to the praise. Where exactly was Taryn going with this? The woman rarely showed any signs of softness. Even during their years as bunkmates while training at the academy, her shell had been unyielding. Without a doubt, she trusted the commander's words were meant supportively, and were genuine, too. Taryn was nothing if not a straight shooter. But still, they still scraped against her carefully composed facade. Nev had been developing several years of targeted therapy. If Taryn ever learned the truth of Nev's private life, she might not opt to sing Nev's praises. A moment of silence passed. So am I in script or what? Nev asked flatly, fighting her own vulnerability. Had the regiment finally find someone else willing to do their dirty work in the problematic hatches? Were they writing her off as a liability? Was Taryn just softening her up now in order to uncover her lies? No, Nev couldn't imagine Taryn ever doing tactics like that, and yet an undeniable trepidation of the truth being exposed quaked just beneath the surface, threatening to break ground. Taryn let out a low chuckle and shifted in her chair. Okay then, so business it shall remain. She pushed the file folder forward on the desk. Have a look. Nev grasped the folder and flipped it open, perusing the contents. A few short moments passed before she grew still. Then she flicked her gaze to Taryn, who gave a simple nod in reply. Nev gripped the back of the nearest chair as all of her previous worries evaporated. The breath left her lungs in a rush. Is this real? Taryn clasped her hands together atop the desk. It is. During our most recent set of trials, a probe, one of ours, flew back through to us carrying that message. It's happened. We finally got the Hatch pulse treatments to work. A stable field of entry can be achieved. Nev took a seat, plucking the wrinkled note from the folder and read the message aloud, her voice barely a whisper. Stop sending the pulse waves. It's hurting the planet. Tell my family I wish the world for them and that I'm sorry. She fixated on the words while shock, elation, and bewilderment swirled like a violent cyclone, crumbling the icy barriers erected around her heart. Snapshots of memories flashed through her mind. A lopsided smile, his laugh, how his muscular arms had pushed their giggling children on swings, then held her close at night. That last time they touched, kissed. Taryn's pained expression when she was forced to break the news of Jim's loss mere moments before Nev had been scheduled to depart on a peacemaking mission. The image of Hatch 212 looming overhead in all the grim days that followed, when they lowered his empty casket into the ground. Does this mean what I think it means? Nev rasped as a different, even more disturbing set of images invaded her mind. Images of her poor, stranded husband struggling to breathe, to eat, to survive on an alien planet all this time. Taryn nodded again. Yes, Jim is alive. Or at least he was when this note was written. Now, of course, we don't want to cause any more damage. She leaned forward. But maybe that's something our technology can help with. It's worth finding out. Plus, Hatchers don't leave men behind. In fact, the Council has already sanctioned the use of 2 final pulse treatments to investigate 212 and bring him home. Nev locked eyes with the commander, the no-nonsense woman who'd once found her lying on the floor with 2 shredded wrists, who'd helped Nev salvage her tattered career, offering up support and a chance to return to the regiment when others doubted. Taryn hadn't given up on Nev then, and it was clear she wasn't giving up on Jim now either. Moisture swelled, pushing a tear beyond the brim. Thanks be to Almighty Creek, God of the skies. She reached out and squeezed Taryn's hand, unable to utter a word. Taryn's eyes glistened as she whispered, We're going in, Nev. And if he's still alive, we're gonna find him. And that's chapter 1 from Hatcher. Yeah. Thanks for listening and checking out this video. Give me a follow, hit me up anytime. I'm always on social media. I love hearing from people. And whenever you do read it, if you read it, I hope you read it. Please let me know how you like it. I love hearing from people. And yeah, January 20th, this book hits shelves and hits the world. So mark it on your to-be-read list and add it to your pile. Yeah. I'm excited. So